Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get started here. I appreciate everybody coming. If anyone doesn't know me, my name is Bill and I'm from unit number 105. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to talk a little bit about the future and why I believe that the information being presented tonight is so important. And I thought that before our guest spoke, it might be a little bit helpful to get a little bit of background information. It might make some of the things that he says make a little bit more sense. So to start out with, I think it's safe to say that most of us remember this cartoon from 1962 called The Jetsons. And it brings a smile to a lot of our faces. This cartoon offered ridiculous visions into our future. But just how ridiculous were they? So the video phone in The Jetsons has become a reality today, and not only is it available in your house, but we carry it around in our pocket. Being able to watch your children while you're busy doing other things, that's easily available at Target and Walmart. A phone on your watch or on your wrist, anybody can get one. Talking to a doctor, having a conference with your doctor from the comforts of your own home, not only is that commonplace, but where they're offering reduced deductibles, and take it one step further, it's mobile, so you can have that conversation anywhere. Quick meals, like they had in The Jetsons, are taken for granted today with the invention of our microwave. But in 1960, a TV dinner took somewhere between 25 to 35 minutes to cook in the oven. And that was our fast food back then. Well, not every one of their inventions is available yet. But this movie, or this cartoon, took place in 2062, I found out. So we still have 44 more years to see if we develop transportation like that, those space tubes. So we can't visit The Jetsons without taking a quick peek at the automatic
Jay, stop this crazy thing!
Sorry, but when I think of The Jetsons, that's the first thing that pops into my mind. When I was a kid, I thought that was absolutely hilarious. So I want to talk about a fairly new buzzword, very important buzzword, called the Internet of Things. Has anybody heard of that? Okay, that's why I'm talking. So I searched everywhere to try to find a really short, quick video that would be simple to understand, and it just doesn't exist. They get very technical extremely quickly. So I'm going to try to do this myself. Today, we've seen new gadgets like electronic lights, thermostats, door locks for our homes. There are also speakers and audio systems, and of course we know the television is now connected to the internet, and we have very high definition pictures that can make your house into like a movie theater. Well, imagine all those devices connected together, working in harmony to make our lives more comfortable and more convenient. And add to that refrigerators, toasters, coffee pots, bathtubs, and a whole bunch more things that could be connected to the internet to help make our life easier. It's very overwhelming, but that's basically what the Internet of Things is. All of these things that connect to the internet, connected together. I'm going to show you two really short videos. Keep in mind that this is just one company's products and one company's visions. There are many, many, many others. In the first clip, everything in there is available right this minute. You can go to the store and buy it now. The second video is about a car, and they just signed the first contract with a European automaker, and it's going to come out within 2 years. So we're not talking 40 years from now. We're talking pretty much now, okay?
Should we give him a shower?
Mommy, Tate's in the washing.
Hi, Bixby. Start the washer.
And what you need, you're in the washing.
Good morning. Groceries.
Okay, I'm coming.
Let's take a look at what Samsung and Harman are envisioning together.
Hi, Bixby. Come pick me up. Okay, Jenny. You have a schedule to pick up Alex.
Get my car ready.
Jack, the car is ready. Automatically setting up Jack's driving conditions. Time of arrival, 35 minutes.
Your class today was good.
There's an object. Slow down.
Haven't you been interested in
Jenny has arrived.
Pretty cool, huh?
I'd say yes. So that just gives you a little bit of a taste of what we have to look forward to in the near future. Of course, we decide how quickly we want these electronic comforts, and if we do. But in order to even be able to take advantage of a lot of them, we need high-speed internet and lots of it. Currently, our two providers are CenturyLink and Comcast, and CenturyLink is way too slow, and Comcast is not only expensive, but they're now capping our data usage if we use too much, and charging extra. So, our guest today, his name is John Falls, and he's from a company called Northstar Fiber. And their sole mission is to future-proof the apartments and condos in the Twin Cities area by providing fast internet speeds to our units at extremely reasonable costs. So I'd like to introduce John to talk to us.
Thanks, Bill. All right, you're hired. You can come to every single one of my introductions going forward. So, hi everyone. I just want to start by letting you guys kind of know how I got here to the conversation with you today. And to start from the beginning, I just want everyone to know this is solely informational, just to kind of gauge interest for the property. So if you guys have interest and we want to look into further meetings, we would then go to the board and kind of work from there from a decision, but no decision can be made without the board and any time we do this type of situation.
What does the board have to decide?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Well, why do you have to go to the board?
At the end of the day, the board would make a decision on behalf of the property if we were to bring in an internet service or not.
Yeah.
I think you'll understand more after he finishes his presentation, because
Yeah.
he'll explain that in his presentation.
Yep, and I'll let you guys know, we'll open up a lot for any questions that you have because it's solely informational. Then I'll try to do my best to answer. Anything that I can't answer, I'll pick a contact, whether it be Bill or whoever, or a couple of you, and kind of work through you to get the information passed along. I have a couple things that I brought with me today before I start explaining what we're all about and what we do and what we can bring to you guys that I'm going to leave behind. Basically everything that I put up over there, which is one of these packets that I have, I'm going to pass a stack of these around. I brought 25 with me. If If it doesn't get to everybody, I apologize, but I'll leave one behind and I can also send an electronic copy. But you guys will kind of have that for informational afterwards. But as I'm speaking, I'll just start by passing that right here, and you guys can kind of take one and pass around. If there's two of you, share one, and we'll have the conversation go from there. So kind of to start, I got here, I went to a CIC Midwest event. Is anyone familiar with what CIC Midwest is? So a few of us. Basically, Mary Lou, do you want to share what you were doing there?
Well, I was here for their Edu trade show,
Yep.
and they have a lot of vendors, and I got talking to John, and he said fiber optics, and I said, I don't understand it, but I know somebody who does. So I brought the information and gave it to Bill, and when I handed it to him, he kind of went, and wasn't long, he was on my phone saying, wow, so we're interested in what you have to tell us.
Yep. So me and Mary Lou kicked it off because her aunt has the same name, or my aunt has the same name as her. Really getting to talk about it. There's about 12 to 15 vendors at this trade show, and we just had an opportunity quickly to meet with members of the CIC Midwest, which a lot of times are board members or people that are involved in their community and want to bring information back. So that's where this all came from. Me and my team thus far have done a site survey here, which is no cost to the property, just to say if we were to be able to come into the property, could we wire up this property and be able to at least offer internet to all of you? The answer is yes, and that's where it leaves us today, is basically gauging your interest. So that's kind of the background on how we're here. So what do? We are solely an internet provider. We're the fiber internet is the future. So Bill said something about future-proofing your building. So it's the future in everything going forward. As you guys can see, internet's more and more important. It's the highest speed you can get. So the biggest difference between us and like a CenturyLink or an Xfinity, or there's other MediaComs and other services out there, but I'll stick with CenturyLink and Xfinity since what you guys are most familiar with. You guys might get an advertisement where they might say, we're going to give you 200 megabits per second for your speed. Are you guys familiar with what I'm talking about? What they're not telling you is they're telling you what your download speed is, they're not telling you what your upload speed is. So when Bill said CenturyLink is too slow, what's happening is they might give you 200 megabits per second down, but they might give you 10 megabits per second up. So they don't advertise that. What fiber does is fiber gives you a symmetrical connection. So in these packets, as you pass it around, we have 60, 200, 600, and 1,000 megabits per second. We're going to give you that symmetrical both upload speed and download speed. So it's the quickest internet connection out there that you can possibly get. What our company does and what we specialize in is wherever our fiber is closest to, we'll do underground boring from a constructional standpoint so we don't tear everything up. We'll bore to a building. We will pay for all that underground construction to bring the fiber to a building, and then we will also wire up each individual unit and put a faceplate in each unit, kind of like your coax cable one, in the most convenient and least intrusive manner. And it gives you an option to have fiber optic internet if you want to take it, okay? By no means do we come in and say, okay, if you guys decide to do this as a property, everyone needs to take fiber optic internet. That's not the case. What we're looking for, what makes us feel successful, is about a 33% adoption rate over the course of 4 years, which means we have 72. So yeah, we're looking for like a third of the property to adopt us. If more people jump on board, that's great. If less jump on board, then it's just word of mouth and who's happy with their service, and people switch different providers all the time. Before I take a few questions and everything, I'll just kind of give you a little bit more. We're 100% no contract service. So we literally, if you were to say you lived in, Bill, what unit are you, 105 you said?
105, yeah.
So Bill's in 105 and he sees my faceplate on the wall, just a regular size faceplate. And he wants to switch his provider from CenturyLink or Xfinity to me, and he wants to do it on April 5th. He literally plugs in an Ethernet cable, which most people have. If you don't, they're $3 at Walmart. He signs up for our package, which it takes 5 to 10 minutes to do. He plugs the Ethernet cable in. And then he plugs it into his computer and he has internet with us. That's how easy it is. And then your bill cycle every month, he just takes the $40 as our lowest cost, takes that from your card every month. Say you decide to cancel, you don't need to call in to anybody to cancel, you just go online, cancel your account, you can do it immediately at the end of your bill cycle and we stop charging you. Who's familiar with, say you want to sign up for Xfinity or CenturyLink and they say, okay, we can be out there in a week between 3 and 5 p.m. Do they ever come out there between 3 and 5 p.m.? Rarely, right? No truck rolls required with our service. Like I said, it's all self-serve, very, very simple. You plug it in. We have 24/7, 365 local customer support and technical support out of our Roseville office in the Twin Cities. Our parent company is called Arvig, which is the biggest telco company in Minnesota. They're out of the Detroit Lakes area. We use all their resources. So we use all their resources from a construction standpoint, from a customer service standpoint, and we have 100% backing from them. Why that's important is we don't sub out our work. So we have one company as competition, does fiber internet here in the Twin Cities. They're called US Internet. You guys might have heard of them, might not have. Biggest difference between us and them is they sub out all their work. So this is really important when you're talking about boring underground and things like that, that we don't do that. We have a company backing us to do so. Trying to think what else. So a lot of times we're in the internet business and only the internet business for one reason. A lot of these things that Bill just showed you are like cell phone related, right? But they are coming from an internet connection. Everything we do is derived from an internet connection. So to keep this simple for terms like within the building in your everyday life, what you're doing in your home or in your unit, you would have 100% access to the fastest internet you can out there. Anybody ever heard of net neutrality? That was in the news? Okay. We're 100% net neutral. We put a stance out there that we be net neutral. So when the FCC overturned their original ruling on that, I think it was in November, we came out and said we're going to still remain 100% net neutral. So what that means is we're going to provide you an internet connection. You can do whatever you want with it. We're not going to restrict things that you do, charge you extra money, anything like that. If we say we're going to charge you $40 a month, we're going to charge you $40 a month. Flat fee, no extra, nothing like that. So the reason we're just an internet company is because people are always like, well, I can't subscribe to you guys because you don't offer TV, right? Some people might be thinking that because you have like your double play with Comcast, or maybe you have a different provider. Most recently, probably Comcast for the majority of you. Anybody familiar with video streaming through the internet? So a few people. Netflix, Hulu, you hear Sling TV in commercials when you're watching. DirecTV Now, Hulu Live, YouTube TV. There's all these actual live TV options out there right now that you can get over the internet. So you get an internet service like us, which is fiber optic, which is really, really high speed, and you can get a prepaid internet or prepaid TV service to go with it. And so you have prepaid internet and you have prepaid service for sometimes as low as $60 a month for them combined, just depending on the TV you want to watch. I can go into more detail on the TV piece, but the future is in streaming TV. One of the streaming TV providers is called DirecTV Now. You can see DirecTV already realizes that there won't be satellite TV in a while anymore, and they're already cannibalizing their own business with an over-the-top streaming provider. So that's why we don't do like a hardline TV as well. So like, I'll give you a quick example. In my house, I have 4 TVs. What you need to stream TV is a high-speed internet connection like fiber. You need a smart TV. Anybody have a smart TV? A few of us. If you don't have a smart TV, you need like an Amazon Fire Stick or a Roku. They're devices that basically turn your TV into a smart TV. And you subscribe to one of these streaming services, and you get all the channels just like you do on a Dish Network, a DirecTV, or an Xfinity, right on your TV with these services. So I guess what I'm doing is just explaining to you guys. They would think like, this is only internet and I need TV too. It's possible and it's really inexpensive. And we can educate more and more as we move forward. But I want people to know that it's out there. What kind of questions have people thought of or do you have after listening to me? Because I might be forgetting things that might trigger more for you or how it pertains maybe to your community.
Is our building wired for the electrical usage that all this will do?
No, we would do it.
No, electrical usage.
Oh, yeah.
Electrical
Yep.
wiring.
Yep. All you have to do is we put one cabinet in the building and we run all of our wires from there and we just plug it into one resource.
I'm talking about the individual units. Would we have the electrical wiring to support all the usage that you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. It's not gonna take much at all. I forgot what I did. I'll show you the faceplate before I leave too that we would put in your unit. But it's very, very simplistic. We pride ourselves on simplicity, right? So once we're in, so that just brings up one other quick thing for me. Once we install somewhere, I talked about not having to do truck rolls before and coming out and have to do things. We're in each unit one time for like 15 minutes, supervised with whoever, the board member or you guys themselves, to put our equipment in there, that faceplate, and then we're done. We never have to come back. So everyone's like, what's the catch? That's literally the only catch.
It never fails. You
No,
never have to-
rarely do we ever have to come out unless like a kid jams something in there and like pushes it through and breaks it off or something. If we do, it takes like 3 to 5 minutes to fix it.
To me, it's a real puzzle, but if we have internet through CenturyLink,
Yeah.
can we just plug into something else?
Yeah, you would just switch to our service if you're not in some sort of a contract. You would just call them and say, so some people are in contracts sometimes, right? So when we install, we understand it might be 6 to 8 months until that person's out of a contract before they may want to try us, right? But if you're not in any sort of contract, it's really, really simple. The packet that I gave you guys inside of that, not only does it give all the information about our service, but it also shows you the step-by-step instructions on how to activate everything too.
Okay.
So what we do after install is we leave one of those behind too, so you don't, and our team, our support team will walk you through it over the phone, but it's a lot easier if you see pictures of what's going on.
Thank you.
You bet.
If somebody said we sign up for whatever you're gonna have, and then a year down the road, I think, I think I wanna have it. Then you have to come out and do something in my unit?
No, we would come, when we do the building, we wire the building, we'd be out here one time, we'd take care of it all.
All
So
the
when-
units would be wired?
Yep.
Oh.
So whenever you decide that if you want us, for example, you would simply just go online, sign up, plug in your cord.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what I was saying, like you might be in an Xfinity contract for 6 more
Yeah.
months,
Uh-huh.
and they might charge you, sometimes people call and they're like, it's only $50 to break contract. Well, I'm gonna save a bunch with this split provider, so I'll do it, right? Sometimes it's $200. You don't wanna do that, so you just wait it out. Good question though. Your questions are more valuable than anything, so.
Your fiber all the way to the wall plate then?
Yes, yep.
Versus Comcast or Xfinity's copper?
Coax, yeah. Well, we're Cat 5e, so we're fiber to bring the fiber lines in and then Cat 5e. It'll be a gigabit, up to a gigabit circuit if you want it.
So it actually will be copper to?
Yes.
From where you bring it in? And then
In this building, it'd be a cabinet in the garage somewhere.
Okay.
In a central
that
location.
cabinet, it's copper again?
Yep, Cat 5e. Cat 5e or Cat 6, it just depends.
Are there some units without routers currently?
So for our service, great question. So for our service, you can do 2 things. You can plug your cord into the wall when we put the plate in, and you can go right to your laptop or desktop if you want to. Or you can take the cord in the wall and plug it into a wireless router if you want to, which then gives your unit wireless, okay? Most companies, if you guys have routers with like Xfinity right now or CenturyLink, they're charging you every single month $8, $10, $12, $15 a month for your router. We don't do that. We give specific recommendations based on the speed that you decide to take with us, and you go out and you can get your own router from Target, Walmart, or Best Buy, as little as $40 one-time purchase, and then you have wireless in your home. We don't believe in charging monthly, because you could buy it one time, within 4 months you paid for it.
I have a lot of questions.
Start going.
Okay, so based on Wanda's question regarding the electricity,
Yeah.
you get everything wired in, right? And each unit then that chooses to do this will have the additional electrical charges or whatever it costs to run. There's no extra charge?
No, there won't be any electrical charge. Yeah.
Whatever the router takes.
Yeah, only if you do a wireless router, then if your router is pulling any, I gotta find my faceplate so I can show you.
Should be nothing more than what you're paying for.
So it doesn't, once you get into the building itself, the building will not increase
No.
usage.
This is all it's gonna be in each one of your units. It would just be like this white or this ivory color. If you never used it, it wouldn't cost you a single cent more for electricity. If you used it and you plugged in your router, for example, just to get wireless, if you wanted wireless, then whatever your router's taking would be your electrical, but it's very, very minimal.
Okay, so if we decide to go with this,
Yeah.
and you have to run all the fiber optics into the building, what is the turnaround time?
90 to 120 days. Great question. From the date of an agreement signed. Before you ask one more, I just want to throw something out there too. This would all be done at no cost to the property. So we're hauling all this in, we're future-proofing your property, and giving you this great amenity ad at no cost to you guys. What I said before, where we're hoping for a 33% take rate within 4 years, over time, based on the consumer, that's how we get our return on our investment. So we're taking a huge risk up front, but we're so confident in the fact that this is the future, that's where that all comes from. So.
If we decide to go with you.
Yeah.
Does the association have to sign a contract?
To use our service, so basically it's kind of right of entry agreement.
Let's say we decide to go with you guys and we want you to do this, right? What is the responsibility of the association?
Basically the board would sign a right of entry agreement which allows us into the building, and it says that we're an option for the residents in the building, and that we have rights to our wiring that we put in. If we have to fix something or whatever, we have to be able to gain access to that. So the normal contract terms, which is always up for negotiation, is a 15-year right of entry, which means we're an option in the building whether a resident uses us or not. And it gives it gives the association 60 days to opt out of that, otherwise it renews for an additional 15 years. That's the normal terms. But
That's not normal.
up for negotiation, yeah. We have to somehow, because we're paying for everything, we have to have an opportunity to recoup investment.
So let's say we have 25 people that want to do this. And we sign up, the 25 people sign up to do this. Now, something happens that they decide, I really don't want to go with this. Now we're down to, let's say, 15 people. Where is the association liable? Where is the owner
You're not.
liable?
That was our risk to begin with.
So if we never hit that 32%, there's no risk of
No.
paying anything?
Yeah. On my end too, I mean, I have to gauge and say, that's part of, looping this together is, what would be the interest, gauge the interest, you guys can talk afterwards. Is it worth it for us to make that investment too? Because if I'm going into it thinking I'm never going to get to that, or possibly never get to that, well maybe I don't do it because it's not smart for me either, right? But like you said, if 25 people sign up within the first year and everything's looking great and we're there, and then all of a sudden we're down to 20 or 18, and it's a while before we get back there again, that's just the risk that we took on our end, not on your end. But yeah, does that make sense?
Okay, so in order to get the fiber here, what is your process? What do you do in order, do you have to get licensed to bring in the fiber? And you're taking in all those costs and all the costs of bringing it into our building, putting one in every unit, all that for free?
Yeah.
If we have a certain percentage that sign up?
Yes.
And now you're saying these prices are guaranteed for life.
Correct.
So,
So I can explain that to you.
so if a person signed up for the $40 a month and wants to go to 70 or 70 down to 40, are these prices in here for life?
It depends when you sign up for it. So, say we were installed today right now and you're in whatever unit you're in, right? And you signed up for the $40 plan. If you stay on that $40 plan and I increase the price for that $40 plan to $45, and you don't switch, you don't cancel, you don't do anything, you just stay on that $40 plan, you're gonna keep getting charged $40. If you go from, just to give you another scenario, say you go from the $40 plan to the $50 plan, and while you're on the $50 plan, I make the $40 plan a $45 plan, based on inflation or whatever, and you wanna go back to that 60 megabits per second plan, well now you're gonna pay 45 because you're switching things around. But if you stay on whatever one you're on, it's guaranteed, even though it's prepaid.
And if you left and came back, it would be whatever the current price.
Whatever, if you left and came back, it's whatever the current pricing would be, yep. Because you have to think about inflation too. We also want to, and we haven't ever raised our prices. People always ask, what if you lower your prices? Can I lower my price? Yes. I'll tell you right now, the price of broadband is not going to go down. But that's always a question we get. But yeah, as long as you don't switch something, your price would be guaranteed.
Okay, so we have people like myself who are not computer literate, okay? What exactly does this stuff mean? 60 minutes to download a HD movie versus 1.6 minutes or 1 minute? I mean, what is the benefit of one over another?
Depends how fast you want your connection to be. That's all it's telling you. So it's telling you that basically, in layman's terms, to keep it very simplistic, the more you pay, the faster your connection. If you're a very average user, you could get away with the $40 plan, no problem. Say you wanted to do the streaming TV like I was talking about before, which is jumping ahead for a lot of people, you could do that on the $40 plan, on the $40 connection. So like the $70 person, so just to give people that don't understand what a gigabit means or the 1,000 megabits per second, someone that would want a gigabit connection, they work from home, they're gaming, their kids are gaming constantly, they have 6 or 7 people hooked up to the internet. It's just, it's crazy internet usage. This isn't like, so, and another thing to set this apart, this isn't like cell phones where you have cell phone providers that restrict how much data you can use or they slow you down. That's not what any of the speed stuff is. This is saying we're gonna give you this one fast speed all the time. We're not gonna restrict anything. Here's your connection to the internet. This is how fast of a speed you get, so it moves quickly for you. And we're not gonna restrict you at all. So sometimes it's confusing with like cell phones versus broadband or actual connection.
Now, something about your company that I was reading on or heard about is that you only do condos and apartments, you do not do residential homes.
Correct.
And that is why? I mean, what about?
Why?
Tell me about your company. Why are you doing this? And
well, we only do condos and apartments, and we do some townhomes too, because the cost for us to drag fiber underground to a unit is extremely expensive. So for us to go from home to home to home to home to home all underground, we would never recoup our investment. We have to go into a building where we have an opportunity to gain a good number of customers and provide our service to them. Otherwise, we'd be out of business. It's really that simple. For us to bring fiber underground 2,000 feet cost us between $60,000 and $70,000.
How long have you been in business?
5 years. But our big, the telco company has been around for like 70. So they saw us as obviously the up and coming thing in the Twin Cities and the big opportunity for them, and that's why they purchased us. So.
what areas are you located in that you've done this in?
All of the Twin Cities, basically.
Have you done others here in Plymouth?
Yeah, we have a couple in Plymouth, on the other side of Plymouth. So, it's currently looking too for other, I was talking to Bill, other around you guys to help us with build cost underground as well. But we're focused on you guys right now, but yeah, we have 35 properties currently. Mixture of condos, apartments, and townhomes. So
No data caps?
no data caps.
And this is a guaranteed speed?
Yeah, and the only thing that would change your speed would be a router, depending on what your router is capable of. But when you do that, you're gonna lose like very, very minimal with fiber, whereas when you do some sort of router connection with a coax, you're losing a lot. So, and just as an example, like if you wanna do a speed test and you truly wanna know how fast it is, you unplug your router and you plug it in straight to your computer to gauge that. That's a little more technical for some of the people, but it's a great question.
So how does your company, if somebody says, I want 40 or I want $60 a month, what do you do to change that speed? What is your process? You know, like behind the scenes,
It's all done online with the plan that you choose. We don't do anything.
Well, what makes it go faster, slower?
Your connection is always up to a gigabit in your wall. It's just dependent on the speed that you decide to sign up for and you choose.
So then you change something somewhere?
Yeah, but we just restrict how much it. So what fiber is it's a light signal. It's literally the speed of light. So it's just how much light they're letting through your line.
So you like close the valve at headquarters a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
How does weather affect it?
Not at all. It's all underground. The only thing that would ever affect us is if some other company was digging underground and cut our fiber. That's happened to us one time. It was fixed within 4 hours. But we had to have, obviously, the right company go out there and dig it out for us so then we could splice it back together. But that's the only thing. The only time you'll have an outage is that or the power goes out.
So if the electric power goes out, it
Would
goes
go
out.
out, yeah. Which any service is gonna do that, yeah. We could get into like generators and all that stuff, but that is not worth it. It is not worth it, trust me, it's way too expensive, so for the amount of times it happens. Keep asking.
Well, in this kind of an association, the board of directors, under the terms of our declaration and bylaws, the board of directors can make agreements only for 1 year.
Okay.
And so if you want, like we mentioned, 15 years, if you want an agreement for more than 1 year, whether it's an agreement, a license, easement, whatever, for more than 1 year, it has to be approved by the association, which can only be done at an annual meeting or a special meeting.
Okay.
Which means if you want an agreement signed for that's more than good for more than 1 year, you have to deal with the association at the annual meeting or a special meeting.
Sounds good.
Not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, I do. You guys gotta remember, I do this all the time too. So I get what you're saying.
But it's totally different than an apartment. With an apartment on one side and an apartment on the other. You can deal with the owner.
No, I get it.
But this is not an apartment.
I know. Yeah, no, I have a lot of condos that are properties as well. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and it's not a bulk, just so you guys understand.
Plus, you see, you don't have the right to go into a unit that someone owns to put that thing on the wall.
Unless the association decides that.
Yes.
Yes, correct, you're 100% correct. Just so everyone knows too, some condos want to do like bulk agreements. We're not talking about that right now. We're literally talking just about a right of entry and an option as a consumer, just like a CenturyLink or an Xfinity.
So what happens if you have the 72 units and you're saying that in order to have this here, whether they use it or not, you have to put one in every unit?
Correct.
But what if there's people that say, I don't want this in my unit, period? Is that going to create an issue?
When the association signs an agreement, they sign saying that isn't an issue. Because the association can deem that it has to go in there.
That would be decided at an annual meeting.
Correct, that's what he's talking about. Also, if there was like one person that was a big deal about it, then if we had to come back out and wire later, you know, it can cost hundreds of dollars to rewire the unit when we're not there. Just so you know, we rarely have that. It's usually worked out, like he's saying, through an annual meeting or a special meeting or something like that.
So now, when you're talking this little unit, this little faceplate that you put into each unit, okay, so what is, but that has to go from somewhere. How are you getting the wire into our building? Where's all this wire coming from, and where is it going, and how are you getting it into all the units?
That would still be determined on a additional site survey, exactly how we would do it. But we do installs where we come through the walls, we do and pop in like an Xfinity does or a CenturyLink. We do installs where we come from the outside and then we pop into the living room wall, which is really easy and really not intrusive for the consumer at all. We have a lot of different ways to do it. It just depends what makes the most sense in the least intrusive way possible for you guys. But we would determine that in one more site walk. We would determine where we would come in. We would determine exactly how we would do it. We would determine where we put a cabinet. We would make sure there's that we have the association tell us if there's any private locates on the property, so we make sure we don't do anything.
And is this something that you do year-round, or do you have to wait for the snow to thaw,
Yeah.
the ground to thaw?
We do construction in the spring, summer, and fall. We can do inside work, like getting the units ready and stuff, but we won't actually do anything underground until afterwards. Somebody else had their hand too.
Yeah, now if you go, now you said come into the living room wall, would you be coming up like the outside of the building? Would that affect the looks of the building? And if it's very
Sometimes-
cold out, would that affect how it runs?
No, sometimes we'll come from the outside, 60 to 70% because of ease and least intrusive way possible. Of our installs, we've come from the outside and just quickly popped in. The look, we have different color cabling that we can do. We'll use like another path that another company's taken a lot of times. The coldness, our cable is weather rated, so it doesn't bother that at all.
So it would be an outside wall.
Yep, we can do outside walls,
I
yep.
mean, can you do interior?
Potentially, yeah. This one is either or. It's something that we would decide via like a meeting like you're talking about. We did that already, we kind of looked at it. I just don't want to give you guys a for sure answer because that's something that would be decided later and that the board would talk about. Because we want to make it easy for you, right? Because we know that everyone's not going to take it. Over time, I'm confident, like I see us go in all the time and 5 people are excited about it and all of a sudden someone else gets started talking and how easy it is and it just kind of grows. But I saw another hand.
As far as agreements, you need an initial agreement to do the install. But then do you need ongoing agreements for maintenance and so forth?
We just need to be able to access our cabinet if something were to happen. So we just ask that we don't put it in a locked area. We usually put it on a wall in the garage. Cabinet's about this big by this big, about that long, put our equipment in. We can usually monitor everything with our equipment. If I was in Florida, I'd be able to see what's going on.
Is that locked so people can?
Yeah. So then, it isn't like every year you need to renew an agreement with the board, then it's just that initial install.
Yeah, all it is a rate of entry saying, my faceplate's in the wall, if you want it, even if it's 10 years from now, you have the option.
Speaking about faceplates on the wall, how many do you put in the unit? One?
One.
2, 3, just one?
Yep. If you want Wi-Fi, like a lot of, we're all used to, you know, where you can sit in the bedroom, but the connection's in the living room, you get a router.
That's how you get to the other rooms?
Yep.
You don't put plates in other rooms?
Yep.
Just one plate?
One plate, yep.
And then you have to buy another rig?
One router, one time. For most of you, it would be between $40 and $60. Mine, I brought, the powers all 4 of my TVs in my house, my work computer, my laptop, kid's tablet, all that stuff cost me $60 one
How
time.
far do these routers go? I mean, could a couple of people share one, adjacent units?
I have if you wanted to.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you put a password on them, but yeah, they would, it's, when you go through multiple units or things like that, it can affect the signal strength of it. But for me, I have a split level house, for example, 4 bedrooms, 1978 construction. I have no issue with speed, and my router's in the basement, in the middle, just to kind of.
But that's a single dwelling?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
do
and
you have your own, do you have your service to your house, or you have another service?
No, unfortunately I don't, because it's really expensive, like you asked. I live in Chisago city, so no, I don't have it. My GM doesn't have it. None of us do, because we're all kind of on the outskirts. If I lived in one of our apartment buildings, I would, or a condo. But it stinks. It's really cool when we see how fast it is, or I help customers or whatever, and you guys can have it, but I can't.
Now, do you have a list of actual buildings that you have done stuff with? Not just people, but like the association people that if we wanted to contact them?
References? Yeah. Absolutely, we can provide. Bill?
I have a question. You mentioned something that would benefit everybody in the building, and that is currently for our video cameras for the security, we're paying business rates for internet to be able to run them. That costs a lot of money. So can you tell us about that? Because that comes from that room I showed you?
Yeah, so when we're gonna bring this huge, it's not huge, like it's small, but a ton of fiber or access into the building for you guys, we can run lines to different cameras and things and give you an access for that as well, based on whatever's worked out with the association. We will also, when we come into the building, minimally do 1 free connection in the building in a common area. So like if you guys wanted this room set up, we would run a free connection to this room. So whoever was in the area in the pretty near proximity, anytime would be able to connect in this room. Just as an example, but what you're talking about, we can definitely run lines to video cameras.
But if we wanted that free line to go down to the room where the security cameras are, that would be okay?
Yep.
But that's not an outside wall,
It's okay.
right? So will that still work?
They would just follow the Comcast cable down there. Comcast
And
got
if
there?
if that's the one that we would get for free, will that connect to all of our cameras for free, or would we have
It's
to
only
pay
one
for
connection,
each?
Joe.
It depends how you guys have it set up.
It's only one connection.
Yeah.
We only have one internet connection. So if that internet connection is free, then the cameras would be powered for free.
Yeah, that's what you guys would know that. I'd have no idea. Some people I have to run like 10 different connections for some apartments and stuff, but some people have it set up like you're talking about, so.
All the cables go to one central spot,
Okay.
and the internet comes in there. There's only one.
What about warranty?
On what?
On,
I guess I'm just trying to,
well, you know,
understand.
the wall plate, is there, let's say you plug in and, you know, you one that unplugs and plugs and unplugs and plugs and and let's say it gets worn out or something. Is there a warranty that you would come out
If the
and?
jack goes bad.
yeah, no cost to you guys. We would come on and fix it. I just, I helped someone because we had an issue at one of our apartments with the customers, and I went out to try to fix it for her, and I couldn't, so I just called my lead tech and said I need someone to come out here, and coordinated with the owner of the renter of the apartment and the tenant, and they came out the next day and fixed it.
So what is the turnaround? 24 hours, is it?
Yeah, it's sometimes faster than that. It's gonna be fast. It's
So
not
if
like.
somebody's using their unit for a workplace and the thing goes down,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I know.
their downtime, you can't be down.
Yep.
You know, so I'm wondering, what is the turnaround?
You would only see if there was something wrong, like you didn't use your connection and someone pushed in and broke it, and then you go to sign up and you can't sign up that night. That would be like the only time you would ever usually see something like that. Stuff just naturally doesn't fail with this type of technology unless someone is forcing something.
And you have a 24-hour service? number?
Yeah, 24/7, 365, yeah.
Now on that free line, is that for the maximum speed or?
200 megabits.
Okay.
Good question.
Even I didn't think about that question.
That will more than suffice for what you guys need. It's gotta be more.
Are you eventually going to actually have 24/7 live people?
We have it right now.
Well, an hour and a half ago, I called your outfit,
Yeah.
and there were 3 numbers to call, like service, support, sales.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd try sales, because I thought for sure they'd want to sell me something.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, they're all the same number. Anyway, got a hold of a person,
Yeah.
was friendly,
Yeah.
didn't seem to know a lot,
Yeah.
and suggested I should call back between 8 and 5.
Oh, for sales?
Or
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have someone that's gonna answer, but if it's a technical.
Well, then I said, what if I told him I didn't have a service, but I said I was just inquiring. What if I had a service need? Could you switch me over to support? Well, I can get a message to them, or they can contact you tomorrow, or I can email them. I said, well, where are they? And they said, well, they're here. I said, where? Well, I have to page them. That was her word. So apparently they have pagers, which is something, I guess, by which people can be so contacted. Anyway. But
Patch, maybe, they probably meant to say patch, but yeah.
But anyway, I thought, that sounds like a time lag. I mean, if I actually had an issue with the thing wasn't working, I'd like to think I could talk to a real person. You know?
Did they ask you for your address?
She's in Minnetonka. And,
They asked you for your address?
no, I
Okay.
don't. And, but they said they had service all over.
Yeah.
I said, you have a lot of customers? Oh, you have many, many, many. I couldn't give me an actual number.
Yeah, it's a.
Maybe they don't know, I don't know.
After hours, it's an answering service that will then
So
send
that's
this
exactly
to.
what it was.
Yeah.
Nice and pleasant person, but didn't know anything.
Yeah, so if you had a service issue and you gave them your address and your unit number and they could see you're a customer, they would then patch you through for service.
And then I did ask her probably an unfair question. I said, why is fiber better than cable or Sky Dish or Direct Link or some of these other things?
Yeah.
You know, well, I'm not sure about that. I can look into that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're after, like I said, after hours, if it's during hours, like a sales call from
yeah. No,
9 to
she
5.
kept
they'll-
telling me, call back in the morning.
Yeah.
Or we'll talk to you tomorrow. Or I'll get a message to somebody.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's designed for if it's a sales type situation.
Well, I
they would-
asked her, I said, well, can I switch over to a technical? Well, no, I can't give you them, or they're not there either. Oh, okay.
Well, then, if you were a customer, like an active customer, and they looked at your address, they could send you straight to our tech support team.
Maybe, I guess that would have been quicker.
Yeah, that's how it would normally work, because they're always live to troubleshoot something that's going on if it's 2 in the morning.
Well, I was impressed she answered the phone after 4.5 minutes, and spoke English.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sent overseas,
Yeah.
so I thought that was good.
No, I mean, yeah, after hours, they're just gonna get the information. For example, if it was sales, it would go to me and one of my peers, and then we would give you guys a call in the morning or whatever, I would call you back. In that scenario. If it was something like you were already active, say the building is active and the building is live, and you say, I wanna sign up for service and I'm at this address, then they could walk you through it, but if the building doesn't have service yet, then they're gonna send it to me so I can talk, get in contact with somebody like Bill, for example, and talk. So, good question.
What if somebody has this installed and then they decide that they want to do a remodel or something like that where they need to change? Is there an additional cost then to have you come out and make that change?
No, you would just take your faceplate off the wall.
It's a computer.
You just take your faceplate off the wall and connect it, paint it, do your remodel, whatever, and just plug it back in afterwards. It's like a light, it's actually more simple than a light switch, but.
Plus, it would probably go to the perimeter wall. The interior walls you can take down, but I don't think they'd run them through interior walls.
No.
They'd go through, and perimeter walls, you can't remodel and take them down.
Right, okay.
The easiest thing for us and for you guys normally is a perimeter wall. We can do both options. Just to kind of let people know. But
How many employees do you have?
In Arbig or specifically just us? And us and Northstar Fiber, 3 of us. It's mostly automated. We don't need a lot of people other than for stuff like this. Or if you guys have an event and you want me to come out and host an event and educate and stuff like that, that can all be planned in advance. But we don't need a lot of salespeople or a lot of feet on the ground, if you per se. It'd just be overkill.
So your company is the sales, and then this Arbig is,
They back us completely. They're our answering service, they're our support, they're everything. It's our product that they purchased.
so how many people in Arbig, do you know?
Exact number? No, but over 1,000.
Is that more of the answer you were looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the bigger company is, you know, as a whole is a lot. Everyone's kind of supporting each other, right? Question?
Looking at this, it says how easy it is to connect, and I'm assuming this is a cell phone, right? That you use a cell phone to connect, or a smartphone?
They're just showing you can use this. We're showing you can use a cell phone, yeah. Or say you're currently plugged into CenturyLink, for example, right? You can go and sign up for us, get everything ready to go and sign up, then call and cancel CenturyLink, plug your stuff into us, and you're good to go. I could literally take Bill's computer right now and sign up in 5 minutes if you guys were active in the building.
So if someone didn't have the ability to do it by themselves, is there a phone number that they could call and sign up? Do they have to use the computer?
That's what I was talking about before, is you can call in. If they said, you know, I'm in so-and-so building, I just want to sign up, then they'll be able, from a sales standpoint, to do that.
So
but they're gonna identify the address and make sure it's an active building.
Yeah. You don't have to use a computer to sign up, you just can.
They can help you, yeah.
It can be self-service, but you can also call them.
Correct.
And get their assistance.
Literally, and the thing is too, like, when I went to the employee thing, I thought about just us, right? Everything we have on our support page, you can type in like one-word clues, and something will pop up and tell you exactly how to do something or explain something to you. It's very, very intuitive and simplistic.
So what's the timeline for how this might actually happen beyond tonight? You mentioned it had to go before the whole board, and that means
Not the whole board, the whole association.
the association.
Big difference. And probably at the annual meeting this year.
And that is when?
June.
June. Okay. So we're only in April here. So it'll have to be a couple months from now before it's presented to the association.
Yeah.
You can have a special meeting, but they're an awful lot of work.
Okay. Anyway. And after such meeting, there has to be a consensus or agreement of enough.
They have a vote.
Yeah.
Majority vote, majority of the
owners.
Yeah, I can't remember what the numbers are. But
Right.
it's all in the declaration.
Right.
Yeah, as John was explaining earlier, different per different association or per board. Sometimes the board can decide, sometimes the association can decide. It's hard for me to answer that question because if everything's different. What I would say is once there's a decision made and an agreement signed, we'll be fiber out, everyone wired within 90 to 120 days, usually on the 90 side, where we're up and live for everybody if they want to sign up.
So getting back to my question, assuming this occurs at the big meeting in June, unless there's a special meeting prior to that, like next month in May.
It takes so long to call a special meeting, don't even think about it.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to imagine.
No, think about the annual meeting.
Okay, so it happens in June. And then there's sufficient interest for the idea, majority rule or whatever. Then more, all right. Then 90 days thereafter, you guys will make it happen?
Yep.
Well, it would have to be 90 days after the contract has been signed and all the paperwork. There's a lot of behind the scenes that take place before that can happen, and then they still have to go down and get the license and run the fibers and
get it all
scheduled.
run in here and have it to the walls and all these plates or whatever.
Well, for the license and the fiber and stuff, that's usually within that 90 to 120 day frame. So, and what I'm saying too is like, if the board, or that meeting, the annual meeting was part of the decision, I can come back up before and just talk to some of the members too and kind of let them know as well.
So assuming everything is wonderful and this happens, it's still a few months down the road before we can actually make it happen.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was getting.
Yeah, once you can make it happen, it's fast, really fast, but yeah.
And then do you expect each person who actually signs up to get this to have to pay a month in advance, or how does your billing and stuff?
Yeah, it's prepaid, so it's pay in advance. So if you signed up today, it would charge you $40, for example, and then would charge you $40 again on May 5th. That would be your bill cycle.
So would they have to pay prior to that 90-day setup? Or
You can pre-register. We sometimes get promotions a lot of times when we're wiring a building. So the day we turn live, your service will turn live and give you half off your first month, for example, and stuff like that. But
so how long is this price guaranteed?
our price is always going to be guaranteed from whatever our price is the day you sign up. That's what our prices are right now. That's what our guarantees are currently.
So you don't know what our prices are going to be in the summer?
Probably the same. We don't have any plans to change it. But if it was 45, for example, instead of 40, then it'd be 45, guaranteed.
So what I looked at when I saw the material that you guys have, number one is that I am currently paying $72 a month for 50 megabits per second, less than what they would deliver. So I would save $240 a year for my internet. Regardless of any other thing, regardless of the faster speeds being available and the convenience of being able to turn it on and off and all that kind of stuff, just that one point right there kind of sold me. But also I wanted to point out that Comcast does TV by itself. You don't have to get an internet bundle and Comcast. You can get just Comcast TV. So it may be a possibility if you like the Comcast channels and you enjoy paying a whole bunch of money for the TV, or you don't want to deal with the internet TV because it is a little bit more of a hassle on the setup. You could just keep Comcast for the TV and I think you would still save money, but you would for sure get faster speeds. As far as the CenturyLink goes, there's no possible way it wouldn't be 6 times faster. Because we have a 12 megabit per second connection in this building.
Essentially, all depends on where you're located. So what I left behind, I have a whole stack of these I'm leaving over here too. So he was talking about the TV piece being more cumbersome. I want to let you guys know, take this. On the bottom it shows you the 5 most popular options to do live broadcast TV through an internet connection. You can go to Google and Google any of these. You can look at their channel lineups and you can see what they offer for channels. And 9 times out of 10, it's almost exactly the same unless you're missing the one channel you love or something like that. But you can see that some of these have local channels, so CBS, ABC, NBC, all of that, just like you're watching TV. I'll tell you what, I was watching the Masters today on streaming TV through this PlayStation 1, and I would have never known I was streaming TV. Watch the Masters. How about Jordan Spieth, huh?
Can you believe that?
No, he's incredible. So this is an example. I'm watching things we would normally watch, right? So grab one of those if you're interested in it. But you can do that type of stuff for as little as $20 a month. So if you got a $40 internet plan, you can do TV for $20. So you're talking $60 for internet and TV. But that $20 one's a little bit more limited. But you can see what I'm talking about.
And you're not involved in telephone at all just yet?
No.
But there's a company called Vonage that I think is $10 a month. But so many people just use cell phones now.
Yeah.
And they only got the regular landline because made the bundle cheaper.
This is really important though, this Vonage thing he's talking about. If you do have a landline right now, you can keep your number. If you have a router, like the wireless router like we're talking about, you can plug the Vonage thing into the back of the router. Because your internet, we're providing you the internet connection. Now your phone is voice over internet with your same phone number you have now for $10 a month versus whatever you pay. So yeah, I'm getting used just strictly the internet connection because there's so many other people out there that are so great at the TV and the phone and stuff like that. That's the future, that's why we don't do it.
So now Xfinity has hotspots scattered around town. Do you do anything like that?
Do we do hotspots?
Yeah.
No, not specifically. Guys are
Do we sign up now, or?
Right now, yep. No, we gotta wear
Well,
up
I mean, do you take the names of people that are interested in it? Are you just assuming that you're gonna get your 1/3?
I would have you guys talk with the association, the board. You guys would kind of decide, do you think a third of the people would be interested in this? If you guys think like a third would be interested, then I will continue to, pursue it. And I would also continue to pursue different properties around here, maybe your neighbors, things like that are interested. A lot of times, if a property gets this, because it's a huge amenity add to the property, the neighboring property wants to jump on board right away. I mean, I just did 2 condos like that in Roseville. Well, we're doing one, and then the other one's like, oh, wait, what about us? But there's incentive for you to sign up early. Usually we run an incentive while we're wiring the building. We'll let you know about that.
Okay.
But you guys are gonna have to collect that on your own. Bill just asked me to come here and explain to you guys so you guys can get a better idea of who would be interested in who wouldn't.
Going forward, this fiber optic is really what's gonna make a difference in the future.
Yep.
More so than some of these other things we're dealing with now.
Yeah, so just to kind of explain that a little bit and why I decided this path, so you guys understand, I was in the cell phone industry for 11 years. Well, the cell phone industry is safe. Everyone's always coming to get a cell phone, right? I would have never left that industry unless I was going to move to something that I knew was just as safe or was the future. After being in something like that a long time. So it is the future, it is what we're going to do, it is what everyone's going to have moving forward.
Eventually, it's going to be happening.
Eventually, yeah.
And you're just talking about, are we going to get on board?
It's an adoption thing. Yeah. Absolutely, yep. I'm good unless you guys have other separate questions, but I just want to thank everybody that's still here for listening and for all your questions. And I hope that we can find a third of you that are interested and we can future-proof you guys. So,
Thank you for coming.
And I'll leave you back.